As I'm recording this, I'm still in shock about what happened. Even as I'm telling you this, I can't even believe the words that are coming out my mouth. My name is Rick, and to give you a little background about my character, I'm a bit of a womanizer. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this because it does play a factor into the story I'm about to tell you. And it led me to be questioned by the cops. It all makes sense after I get done explaining. It happened 2 years ago. I lost my job working at Home Depot, and I needed a job really fast. One night, I was at a bar that was also a nightclub. As I was sitting at the bar drinking, I was talking with the owner, and that's when he offered me a position as a security guard. That's when he offered me a job, being a security guard, walking around the parking lot, making sure everything and everyone was safe. I accepted him on the offer because the pay was good. He was going to pay me about $18 an hour. A couple of days later, I was already on the job, securing the parking lot of this bar/nightclub. I liked the job. Plus, like I said, I was a bit of a womanizer. Each time a woman came to enter into the nightclub with somewhat revealing clothes, I would always stare at them. Now, some of the women didn't care, and some of them got a little bit creeped out, and I don't blame them. Now, around this time, there was a report of 2 women going missing while I was securing the parking lot area. Eventually, as I stayed there several months on into the New Year Eve celebration, 15 women have gone missing, and for some reason, I was a person of interest. And the reason is because 2 women have reported me to my boss, claiming that I was staring at them, which was true. But they took that as maybe I was the one that was going around doing something to these women, making them disappear or kidnapping them. And that caused the business to go down in sales and in attendance, especially among women, because they felt like if I was there, they didn't feel safe. It got so bad to the point my boss had to put me on temporary leave until he investigated. Meanwhile, the cops came at my place and asked me questions about these women that went missing, and I assured to them that I had nothing to do with it. But regardless, I didn't like the reputation I was getting. I was being falsely accused of kidnapping women. Now, like I said, I'm a bit of a womanizer, and I do like to stare at women, especially if they're pretty, but I would never in my life kidnap any woman or harm any woman. But regardless, people made up their minds about me. Eventually, this speculation passed, and my boss told me to come back into work. On that particular day, on my first day back on the job, securing, I made sure not to look at any woman. But I couldn't help but to feel eyes staring at me, especially coming from women as they were approaching the club. I heard one of them even mention that they had pepper spray in case the security guard tried something. Like I said, my name was being dragged through the mud for something I didn't do. As I was sitting there watching the parking lot, there was this older woman that came out of the bar. She happens to be the mother of the owner of this establishment that I was securing the parking lot for. And she told me, "You know, I don't believe in those accusations that are against you. I know you had nothing to do with those women's disappearance. You're a good young man. Obviously someone is setting you up. But don't let it get to you. Obviously this would have never had happened had my dumbass son kept this a place for where older people can come and hang out at. That's what this place used to be. But then my son decided to sell out and try to appeal to the younger people. I can't tell you how disgusted I am how he's running this place. Look at this. Women coming in this place dressed up like prostitutes. It's disgusting. Then I nervously replied back to her, well, thank you for believing me that I had nothing to do with those women's disappearance. It is kind of hard on me, everyone thinking I'm some creep, but I appreciate it. Thank you. After we got done talking, the old lady left, and I finished up my shift securing the parking lot. And after my shift was done, I drove home and I went off to bed. The next morning, I was making my way towards work again when I noticed I saw a ton of police cars and ambulance at my job. There was caution tape around the entrance of the building. I was very confused. Not only that, but I saw a whole bunch of people standing around to see what was going on. I parked my car just a couple of blocks away from the building. I got out of my car and I made my way over there. And when I got over there, I saw something that till this day still shocks me. There was a woman who was murdered, and based off of what I was looking at, it looked like she was stabbed severely multiple times. But that was a shocker. Here comes the shocker. Now, what I'm about to tell you, you're gonna have to brace up. It shocked me, and as you're listening to this, it's gonna shock you. So it turned out all the women that went missing was actually due to the man who owns the place, my boss. Not only that, but it turns out his mother, the woman I was talking to who believed in me, also was playing a part in the women's disappearance as well. Here's what was going on. Apparently, the son and the mother had organized a prostitution ring. Apparently, they were kidnapping these women and making them prostitutes. Not only that, but it turned out her son, my boss, was a mobster. Not only that, but his mother, the woman I regularly talked to, was also putting these women into cult, brainwashing them, and making them have ideas that she has. After I found out about all of that was going on, I couldn't even believe what I heard. It didn't even feel real. First, I was working for a mobster. Second, they had everything to do with those women disappearing, and I took the blame for it. Third of all, I was talking to a woman who was manipulating and controlling women into a cult. This really got to me. Both my boss and his mother were good to me, but I guess it just shows you really don't know people. I also learned that the women were being held captive underground at the bar/club. Apparently, there was a secret basement there where the women would be held captive there. I guess one of the women refused, and apparently they killed her. That was the woman that I saw on the ground. The club eventually got shut down, and I had to look for a job elsewhere.